bom, bom. How's it going, Johnny?
Good. Just bopping to the music.
Bopping. Did you see me playing my guitar?
I did see that.
I didn't know if you saw it or not. So I always
saw your hands moving.
I have my guitar here. I always play and practice. And there's a photographer in town who I've been doing jams with, and we've got this duo going. We've been doing this for 5 weeks now. It's fun. I like playing guitar. I like singing, even though I can't sing or beans.
I know. I used to be not too bad when I was younger, but now when I sing, my wife tells me to stop because I make her ears bleed. So
I have a rule. I'm not listening to my wife because she's my worst critic, and I'm like, can you not at least help me out on this one? But and on that note, speaking about wives, my wife woke up with a bad headache, and she gets these neck tension headaches once or twice every 2 months. So I ordered her a massage, and she had today off, and I sent her away. So go have a massage at 3:00. My daughter was pretty impressed.
Well, I thought you were going to say that your wife woke up with a bad headache, and I was going to say, just tell her to kick you out of the bed then.
Yeah.
You were a headache.
So I got a lot of stuff I want to share. I don't know if anybody's joining us, but if anybody is, we got questions, of course, we can answer for you, and or anything in reference to some of the stuff we're going to take. I'm not sure if you are able to show a video.
Yep.
I don't know.
Be able to.
It used to be all glitchy, but well, anyways, I got 2 videos I want to reference, and if they don't play, that's fine. I'm going to put the replay in the
post,
the messages, or in the replay. It'll be in the description.
Okay.
And those are videos that are going to be unlisted from YouTube, so only accessible to you guys. And one has to do with a large 3-generation family I shot 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. And another one has to do with going to Barrie, Ontario Fairy Day, which I want to also talk about. Cool. So let's...
I see Danielle's been doing a couple more shoots around your studio there, too. I saw she was doing one last night, I think, there.
Oh, I didn't see that. I knew she was doing it. She borrowed my 16-35 lens.
For a friend's branding photos or something.
God, I charged her $200 to borrow my camera lens in studio.
There you go.
I was so paranoid she was going to drop it because that's a brand new lens. It's like over $3,000 for that lens. We just bought it last year, so.
Well, birthdays or Christmas is coming up soon. Now you know what to buy her.
I'm not going to buy her one of those. Not going to buy her one of those. She did a photo shoot. It was a commercial branding shoot. She charged them $1,000. Got to give her credit.
Yep.
And she convinced them. She's not doing any real graphic design for them, but she's just doing a photo shoot. Of course, she's very absent-minded in many ways, and she tells me yesterday afternoon she needs a studio. She has to shoot white high key, and she needs a wide lens. I'm like, well, what if I was already booked? And she's like, oops, yeah, I guess so. But anyways, I was very reluctant and figured it's the right thing to do to charge her a fee to use the camera. All the shots she'd done fisheye or super wide. And so the 16-35 is almost fisheye at 16, and it's pretty wide all the way through. And close-ups with that distorted look. That's what they wanted.
Yep.
All right. It's for a younger generation, sort of like branding, but the images actually look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's good. Anyways, I want to show you something. Check this out.
And I want you to show me something.
This is interesting.
The internet may be just passing fad as millions give up on it.
December 5th, 2000. Isn't that interesting?
How wrong could they have been?
I found that the other day, and I thought that was really, really interesting. And and while we're at it, I want to show you my first ever. Hold on. Got it right here. There we go. Here's my first ever website.
It's good that you have something about that, because I don't think I have anything from my first website.
Well, I built my first website in 1998. Can you see it?
Yep.
I just knew it was going to be big, and this was all done very crudely. That image you see there was artistically done in Photoshop. However, it was a film image done, shot on a 2.25 square portrait. That kid's like in her 20s now. She's 27 or so. And I got a large print of that here, double framed with the fillet and it's a beautiful image printed on, what's that paper? Watercolor paper, parchment style.
Okay.
So I use that image, and you can see it's a white backdrop, very clean. And you can see also that there's no blog, because blogs were not a thing yet.
No.
So, but I really believe, like a lot of photographers were doing with the black background, which I hated. People were going crazy with flash, so it was really heavy to load, and they were slow as hell. And mine may not be perfect, but I was hitting a lot of the right markers insofar. Can you hear the water? It's pouring out here. Is it raining here?
No, pouring here last night.
Yeah, here too. Like boom, all night long. But anyways, there we go. And we had what's called the Water Guild portraits, composites, blah 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 blah. And I paid a guy from Calgary. I forget his name. His first name was Paul. He was a commercial photographer, and he charged me $200 to do some artwork. It's quite a nice print. You don't really get the full, sort of like,
No, exactly. I think my first one was around 2000 and I'm guessing I think it was around 2010, 2011, and when I first moved here. And I think it cost me. I had a graphic designer do it for me. It was like $800, and then I had him had to refine it more and this and that. It eventually cost me altogether about $1,200, I think.
But I think websites are still relevant, and blogging and search engine optimization. That's something that I've been studying quite a bit lately. Social media strategies and what have you. So we'll probably talk about that some more, because I got a lot of good information. So you can see my screen, right?
I can.
All right. So I got a video which is actually rendering right now. It's at 89%. And as soon as it's done, I'm going to pop it onto the YouTube. When
you go to share it, it might have a thing on there where sometimes there's a button that you have to click that says share audio or something like that.
Okay. Well, the next one I'm going to share, but this one I'm just going to
actually no. When you hit share, it should come up saying video file. There, it has share screen, but then there's another one that says slides.
Oh, right.
Camera and video file.
Okay. All right. We'll check it out in a minute. So I went to Barrie back about 5 weeks ago with my wife to visit the dance school where we're doing our upcoming Fairy Day. Mm-hmm. We've been running ads. I think we're at about 10 or 11 booked fairies. It's coming up in 2 weeks. My wife has a hard, fast rule. Like, we have to have 15 in order to make it go. If we have less than 15, I'm still going to try and convince her to go anyways. I'm going to do. And I've been pushing my wife to do this anyways, to do all our proofing via Zoom. So as soon as our last session's done, we can pack up and leave.
Yeah.
She always waits an extra day. She likes to do a certain amount of them, like we do at your studio, John, in Pembroke. But I'm thinking, and Hark, he does all his fairy proofing. He makes great, great numbers using Zoom. So I wouldn't say this if I didn't think it was totally achievable, and it's really there as a strategy, especially with COVID and the fact that so many people are used to Zoom now. So anyways, we're shooting August 5th and August 6th, and we're going to stay the third day. We go with 2 cars, so I'm probably going to leave on the 6th. We have an Airbnb booked and everything.
Yep.
And, we've been running Facebook ads, and we've been running Instagram ads, all paid. That's how we primarily, as usual, get most of our leads. And we've been getting the dance school where we're booking this. They've helped us promote it too. They're very generous that way, putting it on their Facebook page and what have you. And I have friends down there who have asked to say, hey, you live in Barrie, can you post this for us? I'd really appreciate it. So we have a few friends who've done that too. So
I have some friends actually in the Barrie area. I'll send it to them too and see if they can help.
You're the best, John. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. You got to do everything you can. 80% of our bookings come from the Facebook paid ads and Instagram. However, that extra 20% counts for a lot.
Exactly. I grew up like less than an hour away from Barrie, so
you know the area.
Yep.
So there's one ad, and I thought, well, I'm going to try my older backdrop. I know people Tina freaks out that, wow, you're not using that backdrop when you go down there. It doesn't matter. It's like when you go see a movie, you watch a movie when you do a preview. Sometimes they show scenes that are not actually in the final movie.
Exactly, they were cut or something. Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's like nobody notices, nobody cares. They want a good
even
experience.
Like last week's buzz that we were doing, we had Craig Manilli on here, and he shoots movie stills.
Yeah,
but a lot of the stills he shoots is used for their promo of the movie and magazines and stuff like that. And yet those are shots that he lit and posed himself. Those aren't scenes from the movie itself. So it works. It's a matter of getting the idea out there.
Let's see what happens if I play this. Can you hear it?
I don't hear anything. Did you hit it on video file?
I have to stop share.
Okay. Like when you go to share, before you go to share screen, there should be also another tab that says share video.
I'm going to give it a go.
Video file.
Video file. There it is. You're absolutely right.
Maybe that'll help with volume.
I think it's going to work.
Never used it before, so we'll try it now.
We're testing. We are testing right now. Whoops! It looks like you're going to have a video track. Give me a break. Okay. So much for that idea. Let me try.
So I know when you do it in Zoom, when you go to share video, there's a little button on the bottom left that says share audio, and it'll actually share the audio. I've never tried it on here, though.
Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I got a video that I shot to explain sort of the background behind, our visit to Barrie to go check out the dance studio, and then I was talking about that in the parking lot, and then inside I showed the different rooms and the room.
Actually, you should be able to do it now, because if you go to share screen, and instead of entire screen or window, go to Chrome tab and share it from there. At the bottom left, you'll see a little tick there. It says share tab audio.
I have select screen or window. Let me try this here. Can you hear it?
Nope.
Can you see it?
I believe I see something. Yeah, let me hit cancel here. I see you. I just don't hear anything right now.
All right, I'm not going to worry about it. It doesn't matter.
Is it on a website or on a web page?
No.
Because I was going to say I can share it on my side and see if we can get the audio going.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I am not worried about it. Again, I will post it in momentarily in the comment section and in the description section on the YouTube in case you're watching.
If you put it in the comment section now, let it go. I might be able to play it after on my side through there.
Yeah, it's not.
While you're talking about other stuff and it's uploading, I can see if I can do it.
It's not really rendered yet. There's that.
No worries. Throughout the episode, maybe we'll get it going.
Yeah. Again, not a big deal. I'll get the information to everybody. So I don't want to belabor the point and spend too much time on it. And it's for those who are interested, and especially for those who are interested in ferries and doing ferries in different cities. So, all right, I'm going to talk about something else right now.
Okay. Let
me go onwards to my folder. So that's Barrie Ferry Day. I want to talk about pop-up weddings too. So last Saturday we did a pop-up wedding. My wife was an officiant and I did the photography, and they had a brunch for their group. There was about 40 of them there, 50. The bride's mother and stepdad, I know them quite well, and they're ballroom dancers, and they asked us if we would do go to that hall where they had the brunch 2:30 in the afternoon once the brunch was over and all that, and they wanted to do some ballroom dancing. You can see the screen, eh, Johnny?
I can.
So there they are.
Yep.
So there's my big giant 7-foot umbrella with a diffusion panel in front of it, with the Godox AD600 manual, And then there's an AD200 with a blue gel, and there's an AD200 with a red gel on the chair.
Okay.
That's the lighting. That's the lighting.
Okay.
So I'm shooting probably near full power on this light and 100 ISO. I'm guessing I'm around 5.6.
Okay.
So I cleared an area, and I wanted the background to go as dark as possible. So there you see the lights there. And for a few of them, Tina, my voice activated stand.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can see Tina over there. So
did you say in the big, huge 7-foot one there, that's a 200?
That's the no, that's the A600 Godox 80. Is it AD or AB 600?
AD is in
no, these are AD 200s, and I don't know what they are now.
Yeah, AD 600 BM, I think yours is
600 BM. That's it.
Yeah, mine's just a 600 Pro. I don't get the BM. I got the Pro.
Yeah, you're the winner.
Mine came out after yours.
I'm going to get the Pro next because it wasn't available when I bought this. But I got to tell you something. This 600, I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again. It's absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to show you how I used this same light outdoors in the 3 generation shoot in a minute. I talked about it, and I showed you guys it on the Chamber of Commerce Awards banquet, which I photographed last month. And it was a big hall. I had a lot, like the ceilings were like 22 feet tall. I really like using this light. It's just really, really nice, but I can't use it in all situations. So here we have, you can see the kicker light, kicker on the wall, kicker the blue. And the idea is I'll clean up all this stuff after.
Yeah.
And I want the background to go really, really dark. So these are, poses. They're all pose shots.
That's nice.
Yeah. I don't know which one they're going to like. They haven't seen them yet. They just showed me some thumbnails that they grabbed from they did a Google search and they like this, and that. It's snippets of precise moments during an actual dance routine. Which
the red light is a kicker. It's not a background light, correct?
It's both, actually.
Okay.
Here, it's background.
Yep.
And then I moved it. So let's make it into a kicker.
Sure.
So we got red and blue here. We got blue and red on the background. I'm just playing around.
Oh, exactly.
So I'm gonna, I don't know what we're gonna end up doing in the end, but I wanted to really darken that background. You can see the background's getting darker now, and I'll do some Photoshop. These are right off the camera, and like zero has been done to these.
Yep.
And you can see some lens flare on the upper right. So I can clean that out later.
Sure.
So I'm shooting these with the 55 mil, some of my favorite lenses. It's such a sharp lens. Now the main light didn't fire. I was like, oh, cool, though. Shit, it didn't fire. I'm like, ooh, I like it. But I didn't realize this until after I downloaded it. And I went, oh, damn, I should have done more like this without the main light, or turn the main light way down low and exposed for the kicker. I mean, the exposure for the kicker kind of works.
It does.
So here's one that I quickly worked up. It's actually, the background is even blacker on the straight out of camera. So anyways, here I brought the light way, way over top, like, the main light, right? This one here. So on this shot, I brought it really close to them, and I brought it over top of them, shooting virtually right down on them. So I kind of like that lighting,
It is very nice. A lot of people shoot like that, I find.
Yeah, it works. Well, Hart does that with his families. Well, he brings it not quite over top, but he just butterfly lighting, massive light source. But he's got the biggest studio in the world ever.
Yeah, well, my studio, how low the ceilings are, and they're white. So what I've done in the past, when I had a big group to shoot, it was a insurance company with a lot of their agents. Now I bounced 1 or 2 flashes off the ceiling about a couple feet in front of them so that the light would come down. And then basically my big white ceiling became a big white softbox.
Cool. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Bridge so I can look at the exit data. So I grabbed this shot to show you guys. This is the AD 600 BM rather. See it in the upper right? I didn't get a pullback shot, but I do have this shot, which shows that I have the 7-inch reflector on the AD, the BM 600 BM.
Okay.
And see that square?
Mm-hmm.
See this little thing right here?
Yeah.
That's called duct tape. So I put duct tape in front of it, and it's actually quite nice. And I'm like, oh, I never used this setup before.
Yeah.
I have a translucent filter that's actually cut out and made specifically for this reflector, but this is actually softer. This is not my favorite light source. The reason I used it was because in case of wind, I was alone. I didn't have my wife. It's my daughter and her friend. It's a free shoot I do. I'm always doing these shoots for my daughter ever since she was a little tiny kid. I have her friends go in the studio, and we do these very fun and they organized this shoot with the vintage clothes and the loud colors, et cetera, and they wanted this. So I said, okay, well, let's go downtown. We went to an A&W, and you can see here, this is shot at f14, 1/400 of a second at ISO 100, probably at full power.
At high speed sync?
Well, yeah, it's 400, so that would be high speed because the fastest you can do is 200 on the Sony system.
Yeah.
Anything above 200 is high speed.
I know there's some flashes don't even have to do high speed. You can actually just put on full power as long as you're on that 400, 500, and you can get away with it sometimes, but not all the time.
Well, it depends. The shutter usually doesn't sync up, so it's an issue, right? So, I mean, this is I just love the fact that I can go high-speed sync. I absolutely love it, and I can get that deep, rich background going underexposed. You can see some dirt on my sensor here. Got to clean that up a little bit.
Still trying to work with high-speed sync. The one time I used it with my 600 was a couple months ago. If you remember that one family I shot at the beach area there,
right?
Wife and for some reason I was doing high-speed sync, full battery power, but it didn't last the whole shoot. Like it ran down very quickly.
The 600?
Yeah, it actually went really. I was doing like high-speed sync, almost full power probably, and it's supposed to give you like good 500 pops at full power, but I wasn't getting 500 pops out of it.
Yeah,
I'll have to play with it. I'm still new to high-speed sync, so.
Well, you can get a spare battery, which is what I got here.
What I'm gonna do, spare battery.
I think they're a little pricey, but worth it if that's an issue for you.
Yeah. But I had my AD200s in the car with me, and my daughter was helping me as my assistant, so I had her run to the car and grab an AD200 and brought it out to finish the shoot.
Thank God for backup.
Yep, using a 32-inch Octabox, I think. You were?
Thank God for backup. But a 200's not optimum, but it can work and get the job done for you, right?
Got me through the rest of the shoot because the rest of the shoot was just the flash was pretty up close to them with the softbox. So
nice.
Yeah,
I have a big commercial shoot next Wednesday in Killarney, small town of Killarney. They're doing a retrospective, a historical, and they have all these historical items they want photographed, and they're asking people to bring in their items, get the picture done, so they can create a book. And I'm going to use the Godox with the two 200s.
I'm looking at the new 300s and 400s. I'm hearing a lot of good things about those two.
Nice. I love the Godox system. I just love it. I'm crazy about it. And this shot here, if you were the photographer looking right at it, then this is what lens here. This is I'm at 17 mil. So this is a 16 to 35 G Master. And the sun is setting immediately behind me. So they're actually being blasted by the sun. And I'm using the 600 on top of that, and I'm trying to underexpose it.
You can see it in the shadow there.
Yeah. So it kind of has that. There's almost like a double main, but it works. It's kind of funky, cool. And what I really like about this shot is the contrast between the warm colors that they both are wearing.
Cool in the back.
The building's cool, and this is our new from Laurentian University School of Architecture, which is downtown Sudbury. Yeah.
Are you going to clone out the flash that you can see in the shadow in the back?
Oh, yeah. I only showed this one to show that was the light system.
No, exactly.
And
they're awesome. I'm loving these. They're very high fashion. These look like. I can see these in a magazine.
Here I am laying on the ground. A&W. This is what I envisioned when the girls first told me about this shoot.
Yeah.
And the drive-through was over to my left, and we went in the drive-through, and the lady at the drive-through window, she was a Karen, so to speak, you know?
Yeah.
She was like, "Excuse me, you gotta get out the parking lot. The car's coming through." But she kicked us out.
You should have had some friends or something that have like an old car from the 70s or
That
something
would have been
parked
cool.
in the parking lot there to match the outfits because they kind of have that 70s feel to them.
There's lots of those in these parts, as there are everywhere, you know? Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been cool to get like a Dodge Charger or a Mustang or something. So here we have the sun in the picture. This is downtown. We did a whole series of pictures. I'm just showing you guys a few. Again, this shot here is f10, 200 of a second, 16 mil, so super wide. And downtown as well. The sun is immediately to the left. So I have the sun and I have the light coming onto them. So yeah, and this one here is 16 mil. What is it? Yeah, f10, 200 of a second. Any questions on that one, Johnny?
No, I think they're awesome. I love the style of them. I love using the wide angle like that.
Yeah,
Get funky. Like, I mean, it matches. I mean, I love it.
it's such a nice lens, the G Master 16 to 35, with a nice
I'm
price.
looking at doing some fun fashion-y type shoots myself. Some really cool stuff. Ever since our photo buzz last week with Craig, he's got me doing some ideas with high ISO indoors. I got a bar shoot I'm looking at doing, so I'll have to do some behind-the-scenes video for it, and then I will play it on one of our photo buzzes.
So if I play this, you're not gonna be able to hear it. I have a 4-minute video.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the comments.
Okay, and then I'll see if I can play it after. If anybody's watching and they have any questions, feel free to type it into the comment field there, and we'll answer them. Or if you want to share anything with us, by all means, let us know.
This is one of my favorite shoots. Is the 3-generation family shoots. I absolutely love doing them.
I was almost doing one the end of this month. A lady had called me. She just had to check with her the rest of the family to see what's going on and things. They have people come in that haven't had them all together at one time in one place in a long time. But then she just contacted me an email about 2 days ago saying that unfortunately they're not going to be able to go through with it and blah blah blah. They didn't give me a reason, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I love doing them too. I've done a bunch of them.
It's one of my favorite shoots, and they pay well. So I want to show you guys. You can't see my screen yet, eh?
Yep, we can see it. We can see everything you're doing.
Oh, can you see that video?
Yep, I can see it. I just can't hear it.
No, I'm not going to play it to hear it. I just want to show you. I paused the video. This is the
That's the 7-footer.
Yeah, it's 7-footer. I think it's a PLM. It's like a big. It's PLM from Pulsey Duff. It's like a big giant. It's like a big giant umbrella, and then you got to pay extra to get the diffusion panel.
And it's well worth it. I have the one with the silver interior.
Now mine's white. I want it soft. I don't want it too harsh.
I think I have.
Oh, wait a minute. Mine might be silver. Sorry, it might be.
I'll have to check mine again now because I'm not sure now if mine's white or silver now either. I think mine's silver though.
But the panel diffuses it quite a bit, and it creates such a beautiful light source. And if I can use it outdoors, I do. And it was such a nice, quiet day. And so I explained everything about this photo shoot, including the fact that I went there to their location 2 weeks ago to scope it out and check out the yard and all that. All right. So here it is straight off camera. I think Dad's got a little glare in his glasses, which drives me nuts. But you can see how I cleaned up the background. See how I took a lot of the trees out. So we showed them the proofs. They came by a few days ago. And the first thing we say is, this is right off the camera. I want you to choose pose and expression only, blah, blah, blah. And here's roughly speaking what it would look like afterwards. And this is with the 55 mil lens. It's actually absolutely one of my favorite lenses. And I try and use it more and more and more because it's so amazingly sharp. So So here we have the whole gang, and this is a family, 3 girls and 1 boy. There's the boy in the middle. There's 1 daughter, 1 daughter, 1 daughter, and their spouses and grandkids. So this is something I do quite a bit. See the little boy?
Yep.
He's trapped.
Yep.
He can't leave. I do that on purpose.
Yep. I like it for 2 reasons. One, the reason you just said, and the other reason is he's wearing bright yellow when everybody else is wearing the softer, subdued color. So you're sort of covering that up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I like to often put kids in front of dad's belly too. The one adult child is in front of dad. I probably could have done a better job there, but because, you know, mom's hips, dad's belly, they really don't want to emphasize that. But I always put the grandparents in the middle, and sort of like this is their legacy. That's important to me. So this was shot at f4, 1/25 of a second at ISO 100 with a 55mm lens. And as usual, I don't have any video of me setting up this family, but I do explain and show the setting and everything. There's a little bit of sun blotching going on. I don't care. It's not on their faces. It's their backyard. And if I had to fix it, I probably would burn it down easily and not really. No, see, there's a little bit on dad right there, and there's a little bit on
dad,
mom.
the girl in the front,
A little bit right here. But it's not on their faces, so I'm okay with that. And it's their backyard, and that's the important thing. So that's what's going on there. So setting these up often takes a bit of time, and sometimes they get impatient. I talked about this a little bit 2 weeks ago. Remember I showed you the 3-generation family in the church just before they did a double baptismal.
Yep.
Remember that one, John?
I do remember.
Same idea, except they have more babies. And the dad, by the way, of that shoot, they ordered a wall portrait, and he picked it up last week, and he was filled with praise to my wife. I wasn't here, and he kept saying, "Your husband's really good." So it was kind of nice to hear that. Well, they were impressed with the way I managed the situation, because they were looking at me, and behind me during that shoot in the church, there was a lot of people waiting for the baptism to start. It was like past 1 o'clock. The baptism was starting at 1, but we're doing this family portrait, which got going late, literally got going at 5 to 1, but the priest didn't care. So I didn't care, and nobody else cared. But yeah, actually some of them cared. They were probably wondering, what the hell is this guy doing? We're supposed to be doing a double baptism here. And they're all looking at me and plus people in the family are looking at me, and they're going, "Oh my God, how's he going to do this?" But I take complete charge and complete control, and he was really impressed. I didn't know this at the time, but he made mention of it to my wife. He said that there was somebody right behind me with an iPad taking pictures. They found that quite annoying. I didn't even notice whoever that lady was. But again, I'm not talking about this shoot here. I'm talking about the one there. You'll have to watch the replay from 2 weeks ago, guys, if you want to see what that's all about. It's, again, another 3-generation family, roughly speaking, about the same size as this group here. So there you go. These are straight off camera. And the little kid did this on his own. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cute. Let him keep doing that."
Exactly.
I didn't mind that. I thought it was cute, and I thought they were just going to let the kid do that. Then we did a whole series with Grandma and Grandpa. So when I go from this pose, the next pose is with the grandkids. I want to point something out. Bum, 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 bum. See that little guy? I don't know why I can't center it here. This little guy right here. I never know where I'm going to put the little people. And I forgot to mention this. I'm going to mention it now. When I'm about to start setting up the family pose, I ask everybody to stand beside their spouses and gather their family around them so I can see who's with who. Then I put Grandma and Grandpa in the middle. Then I ask everybody to say, "Look, this is really, really important. What I want you guys to do is when I'm photographing you guys, I'm going to set you all up. The hardest part is the setting up. Once we're there, boom, 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 it's done. It goes really fast." And I tell them that, and they're all looking at me, and I say, it's very, very, very important that when I'm shooting, you do not look at the children, do not instruct, do not coach, do not repeat anything I say. And then I go over to the little guy. That's the little guy way in the left on Daddy's knee. And I I point to him without looking at him, and I go, he's the wild card. He's the one that I'm going to be looking at the most. Once I got him smiling and looking at the camera, boom, 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 I'm taking the picture. So it's very, very important that you guys are all looking at me. And they're all like, oh, shit, yeah, that's good. Yeah. And they understand it. So I've said it. I've said it again. I'm going to say it one more time. The number one success or success strategy for these shoots is getting the adults under control. If you just let them go willy-nilly, they're going to start talking. They're going to start getting frustrated. They're going to start yelling at the kids. I don't want them to do that. I want them to focus on me and just not say a word. So when I go through that spiel, and I've been doing that spiel for a good 20, 30 years, they get it. They appreciate it. They appreciate it. Right, John? They appreciate it. Don't you love it when you're appreciated?
I use a lot of your strategies in my shoots a lot too.
You know what I'm talking about. You've been there, done that, and continue doing it. So Dad's got a little bit of glare in the glasses. That's okay. I can handle that. So we got all the adults. I asked them to go behind me, and I go, I need one person to help me be a goofball and get the kids' attention. Otherwise, you got all the adults trying to pitch in. And I say stupid things like, and I look at the little guy and, okay, number one rule, there's no farting. I say that. And they think that's so funny. And then I'll start joking. I'll go, who did that? Did my mare?
I do that all the time.
She's my mare, right? I go, did my mare? Who did that? And they just think that's so ridiculous. And the little guy's chewing his fingers. So that's a bit of an issue. And, Grandpa's pulling out the fingers, or Grandma would be pulling out the fingers and just constantly pulling them out. And this guy's being a goofball. So we got her here to help me out. So I'm using the ball and throwing the ball, and she's throwing it back to me. But I'm going to crop her out later or retouch her out. Then I get pictures of Grandma and Grandpa alone. So family, Grandma and Grandpa with the grandkids, Grandma and Grandpa alone with sun blotches. I always do this one. They're 50 years married. So, and then I shoot the immediate family, Grandma and Grandpa with the original, I call this the original 6. And then families, sub-families from that point on. There's the son, the brother with his 3 sisters. I can relate to this guy because I have 4 sisters and I'm the only boy.
Exactly. And I always recommend to the grandparents that we do one of the, like you said, the 6 of them, like the grandparents with their kids, no spouses, nothing, because I've had it in the past where I've shot family and then you do them with the big whole family picture.
Yeah.
All the spouses and their boyfriends in it. And then a couple years later, I get a phone call or an email saying, yeah, so-and-so, my daughter or son is not with their significant other anymore. Is there any way you can take them out? It's like, well, no, I guess you need a new photo shoot. I don't say it that way, but but it's always good to have those because then they at least have some shots they can have blown up bigger if they want that didn't have that spouse in it.
As you can tell, I'm shooting everything horizontal, and I'll crop these in vertical later. There's lots and lots of pixels there to do that. And there's the one daughter with her husband, 2 variations on the same pose. And one family there. What lens am I using here? I think 85 mil, which I absolutely love that lens too.
Those horizontal ones that you're shooting, the vertical shots you're shooting horizontal, when you proof it for them, do you show them as a horizontal or do you have it already cropped as a vertical before?
What you see right now is what they see. This is from their proofing folder.
Yep.
I just went and grabbed it. These are all the images they saw. So, and when we tell them that, say, look, pose and expression. Just remember, we're going to do a lot of work, a lot of magic. And I'll probably take this tree out. Take this tree out, and maybe that tree
out of their head.
Yeah, I don't like that. So, So anyways, there we got mom, dad, 2 boys. Typically these family shoots are, they're good money makers. So
I had one, I think it was about a year ago, not the fall that just passed, but the fall before. We did, like you said, multi-generational, beautiful shots. Mother came, ordered tons of stuff. Her daughter came and ordered some stuff. Made good money, like you said. And then after Christmas, around the January, February mark, I get a frantic phone call from her in tears.
Why?
She was getting cleaning out her part of her house or whatever, and from the Christmas wrapping paper and all that stuff, getting rid of it all right after Christmas, and she thinks that the prints that she got from me were in somewhere with the wrapping paper, and she ended up throwing all of her prints away.
Oh,
She had ordered all of her 8x10s and 11x14s, and so we made a deal with her, and I even called my lab and said, listen, is there something we can do for her to get them reprinted and that? So they helped me out. They, of course, couldn't do a lot at the lab, but they were willing to help me out a little bit.
yeah.
Gave me a special rate for certain, I forget what the reasoning was that they put it down under, and they gave me a good rate for it. But it's the first time that ever happened. But they are big money makers, and that's why she was in tears. All that money she wasted, she thought, and then losing all her memories.
Shot these vertical because they're full length, and then I came in close.
I love the scene, that pose right there, like where they are is perfect. Like that whole, it looks like an alleyway behind them almost of trees and grass.
It sort of is. It's a laneway of grass and gravel.
It almost frames them a bit.
And we have, if I had have pushed it over a little to the right, it would have framed them even better. But
and you're still using that 7-footer for these?
Yeah, I brought it in nice and close. You can see how soft it is on them.
Yeah, I love it.
So I always like to do that fun pose. And the three sisters wanted a shot. Okay, we'll do the three sisters.
It's a Sue Bryce pose right there.
Is it?
Well, she always does the whole arms touching like that, making almost like a heart between them.
Well, this is Sue Bryce right here. Didn't you know that? You hear noise like somebody's here. I have an interloper. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah. No, I love it. If anybody does have any questions for Rob, be sure to post them there inside, because I'm sure he will answer anything you have to ask, because he's similar to me where he's using the off-camera flash all the time. So
we have a demonic possession going on.
Don't worry, I just said a whole bunch of bad things about you while you were gone.
Good. So I shot this with my cell phone. This is 2 Saturdays ago. We had a pop-up wedding event. We had 4 time slots. We only booked 1. We were bummed out about it. We don't know what's going on, because the first time we did a pop-up wedding event was the August 19, 2019, and we booked out several of them. Mm-hmm. And we thought, oh, we're on to something. And then COVID hit. And we did a whole bunch of pop-up weddings, like one-offs. And then we were like, okay, everything's open now. Finally, let's schedule some pop-up wedding events. And for the life of me, we couldn't get any more than 1. Now we're charging $2,300. They get the wedding officiant, they get the chairs, the decor, the setup, the music, the snacks, blah, 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 and the photography. It's a good deal still. So our cost is about $300. So we still make $2,000 on this.
Very cool.
So we went ahead and did it anyways. It's a lot of work, but whatever. I don't care. Here's the setup. So this is in the mid-afternoon. There's one angle. All good to go. See the speaker over here?
Yep.
That's the building we got in case of rain. There's my Godox AD600. And we are golden. So I should show you. There's the food. We have a charcuterie board, and which cost us about $80. And we have pastries. We bought 3 of these live edge boards for serving. We bought those in Costa Rica, and we brought them up with us, handcrafted by a local Costa Rican. So they get this all included in their pop-up wedding event. And this is all including the cake and some non-alcoholic champagne. There's Kaylee, that's the girl with my daughter. That was her friend came up from, she lives in Barrie actually, and she came up, spent the weekend with Danielle, our daughter, and they're kind of like best friends type thing. So we asked them if they would help us for 2 hours, which they did. It was really nice having them there. There's the inside. There we are. There's Kaylee. There's Danielle. There's my wife. We're just waiting for the people to show up because we're all good to go. I got to talk about the people. I should have put some images in here. Let me do that. Let me just go grab some of the shots from this day. So you can see my screen. People started showing up.
I can.
Dad and his boy. Dad and his boy. Candidates. There's a setup. See, people are showing up, and the clouds are rolling in. I'm getting really nervous because the forecast was nothing but sunshine. I'm doing candid shots of kids and stuff like that. Candid shots. That's the bride and groom's daughter and son. So they have 2 kids. They have a nice house and all that stuff. That's what people do. They have a family, buy a house, then they get married. So there's a bride. She shows up. Okay, I want to talk about this for a second. I think this is important. When she first contacted us, she was very, how should I say, gruff. She was sort of antagonistic. She didn't trust us. Most people are not like that. When that happens, we get, well, especially Tina, she gets very guarded. She thinks, oh, I don't know if we want to deal with this person. This is a red flag. So I said to Tina, I said, well, we got to meet her in person because we got to establish trust. And we did, and it started to work out. And then we met them again 2 weeks before with her fiance, and it kind of worked. And on the wedding day, this day, there's the mom. I really like the mom. I really got along with her. She was very, very outgoing. She was a whole lot of fun. So I'm doing candidates. These are all candidates. This is before the ceremony. So they're walking down the aisle, blah, blah, blah. There's the bride. The bride, I think the bride was like that because she was just really, really nervous, right? So we did the whole ceremony. I'm going quick. I don't want to really belabor this much. And it didn't rain after all. You could see how cloudy it is. I thought for sure it was going to rain. My God, I was so nervous. So Tina did the legal officiating. I did the photography, and my daughter was running the music. And everything went really, really well. Okay, let me get on. I want to go forward. I'm going forward. You're married, blah, 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 blah. Doing some candids. And now we're going to do the formals. Okay? My daughter was roaming around because she was still there with her friend Kaylee. And I'm doing these formals, right? Right after ceremony. And I find it really weird that people are not used to this because of the trends, and people are like, what are we doing? Photography? Why don't we just use our cell phone? So I'm always taking charge. I get very, very outgoing when I'm photographing groups like this. This lady here in orange, I believe, is the bride's sister, I think. This is the bride's brother, I think. Yeah, it is. That's the bride's mom and dad. So she was very much like her mom. Like I said, remember I said I liked her mom? Her mom was like, you could say anything to her. Very, very down to earth, right? You know, these are just working people. They're very, there's no bullshit about them. They're very easygoing, no nonsense. And, you know, with her, I said something about nice farmer tan. I made a joke. You know, I wouldn't say that normally, but it was okay. And they had a laugh. And I actually took out the farmer's tan in a lot of the shots later. So anyways, she made a comment at some point, oh, we got the fancy light. You're using the fancy light, right? So I thought that was really funny. So I was making comments about fancy light.
Yeah.
I'm using my fancy light. So, and here's the one family and all the grandkids. Okay. I'm just like, oh, you guys are here. Let's just get, and I had them jump in the air.
Yeah.
Right. Boom.
I love it.
Grandma and grandpa with the grandkids, and then one family with the bride and groom. That's her again. I took her farmer's tan away. And then there's the bride's other brother and his wife and parents, blah, 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 blah. This is just fun stuff. Then I did the other side of the family over here, just changed locations really quick with the sun setting behind them. To me, this is the most important shot. The bride and groom with the kids. To me, it's no longer about the bride and groom. It's family. So I did a whole series of shots. Now, again, I mentioned we didn't know if she was going to turn into a bridezilla. When they came in 2 weeks before, and I met him for the first time, it went okay. He was asking if they can sneak in some booze, and my wife just shut him down. Said, no, you can't. It's not licensed. If we get caught, we're in big trouble. So that might have annoyed him. So we weren't really connecting yet. On the wedding day, big time connection. While I'm doing all these shots, the sister with the fancy light, the mom, the mother of the bride, she's so outgoing. They're just loving it, and they're loving me. Around this point in time,
That's a great shot.
Yeah, at this point in time, I'm asking them. You guys are going. I'm just making conversation. I say, you guys are going to your house now. Now a whole bunch of people are going to have a party, right? Yeah, we're talking about that. And he says, you guys should come by and come on by and have a drink. You're welcome to come by. I could tell he was right into it. She was still a little bit nervous, but he was really liking it. So they really had a good time. And I forget who it was. Yeah, I know who it was. Let me just go forward. So I'm doing all these shots. And we did a cake cutting. So, okay. So I brought the 600 BM rather. And I'm doing these shots. And then the mother my fancy light. Exactly. So there's, where's the mother of the bride? She wanted to do a first dance. She's really outgoing, this mother of the bride, She's like, we're going to do a first dance. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. So I announced it. They did the cake cutting. Then they did the first dance. All of this is within, they scheduled it. 7:00 was go time. By this time, it's about 8:15, 8:30. They're going to leave by 9. There's the mother of the bride. Twice during this time, she came up to me and said, I am going to recommend you to everybody that I know.
That's awesome.
She said that. And another time she said, how have I not heard about you before? And I explained, I've been at it for 42 years, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody came up to my wife and gave her a huge compliment and said, I really liked your voice when you were officiating the wedding ceremony. And it just made me feel at ease. It just relaxed me. That was really cool. So the whole thing was really good. It was really good. In the end, it was very, very good. So after all the dances and the cutting, I went and brought him out for a few more shots. So I wanted to mention all that because, there's that background to the actual gig itself and the backstory and how it's easy to get derailed if we sort of say, yeah, no, she's going to be a bridezilla.
Yeah.
And, my wife tends to overreact. I'm much more tolerant, but she's hard. She's a hard ass.
I always get, you're going to use your skinny lens, right? Because the women want to look nice and thin. They're like, you're going to use your skinny lens, right?
Yeah. And I tell them I put a bit of a Dr. Barr special. Dr. Barr is the local cosmetic surgeon. Everybody knows him. He has billboards everywhere. So I say, yeah, we do a little bit of Dr. Barr on your face.
There you go.
Skinny
or my wife
Dr.
calls it the 20-40 package. After we shoot you, she'll make you 20 pounds lighter, 40 pounds lighter, 20 years younger or something like that.
That's a good one. I got to remember
package.
that one.
Yeah.
I got to remember that one. The 20-40 pack.
Yeah.
20 pounds lighter. No, 20 years younger or 40 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
So that was a success in the end. It wasn't in the sense of what our goals were. Our goals were to at least book 2, better yet 3. A home run would have been 4.
Yeah.
Because the first time we rented that space out and did our first pop-up wedding event, we did 5 in one day. It was crazy busy, but it was good. And that's where that's at. So I wanted to see. So the replay for that family one is right there. And again, I'm going to put the, hold on, just give me a second. I'm going to put it in there. Well, you know what? The one for the Fairy Day event in Barrie.
Yep.
I am going to put it in the description. Oh, here it is. I got it. And again, it's only really part A because it's I'm explaining how and why we chose this particular place and the actual place itself. And all right, here it goes.
I'm going to get better at doing some more behind the scenes footage. Like I've been doing some of my shoots where I do it in the NoBS photo success page there. I'll go and do a live there from my locations there.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do, if you remember, I did one from Ottawa showing how we set up. Where we set up and all that. I'm going to that. Plus, my wife did some with her phone. She took some videos of me actually shooting the people as they were coming, so you could see how the assembly line was. So I'm going to try and take the ones that I put in NoBS plus the ones my wife shot, and I'm going to try and put them together in one little video behind the scenes, and then we can play it on here one day, and I'll show you the afters of what the photos look like afterwards, because we ended up getting we've probably got about 230 or so orders already.
Nice.
So we're already at that 8% ROI from the shoot, and way surpassed our expenses, and we've already sent a lot of them out, and a lot of the prints are due today, actually, coming in from Technicare.
So it was a success, and you've got more coming, and you've had a few challenges. We've talked about that before, and you've had a few challenges with some of your sports leagues that you're dealing with right now. I don't know if you want to mention it quick, or if you want to bring it up in another.
Yeah, no, we can mention quick. Like with the sports, it was more just the organization of it, the photo days this year through the soccer organization locally. Right. When we originally signed our last contract, it was a 3-year contract. We used to go to the field, shoot the teams. It was a type of thing, though. It would go 3 weeks to 4 weeks sometimes, because you're going Monday to Friday evenings, shooting 2 or 3 teams at a time on the field during their practice times. So you have to take 3 to 4 weeks. And to try and do that for 3-4 weeks straight every night of the week, you're missing your daughter's soccer, you're missing family time, you're after hours. It just can't do it that way. So when that contract was ending, I had them sign me another 3-year contract, and we did 2 of that. And then pandemic happened. So we stopped. This year we're finally doing it again, but we decided we're going to try and do it the same way we did hockey, which is with this plain backdrop, shooting the kids separately, individually for an individual and one for the team. And then they will be compiled together as a team into a soccer background that we use that one company, Next Gen Photo Solutions, for. And
nice.
We do it that way. But the league this president never knew how we did that, even though I showed her on a Zoom call one day how we do it. And they actually went out and advertised it as the photographer's not doing any team photos this year. He'll be shooting everybody individually. So a lot of people that maybe normally would just buy it or just go to the picture because they want to be in the team picture, for anybody who does buy,
they're not going to show up.
They didn't show up because like, well, there's no team picture, so I don't need to be there. And so we got a lot of teams that are not full team roster, some even with 1 to 3 images. Our players there, and how do I make a memory mate, which is the 8x10 that has their individual picture with the team picture in it with their name, and how do I make a team picture out of 2 to 3 players? So we're gonna have to compensate them maybe with an extra 8x10 or something of an individual or something. But yeah, they kind of
lost in translation, eh?
Yeah, so we're working on it, and a lot of stuff. Like even when we tried to get them to correct it, or I've sent emails saying here's the next makeup days. That's another reason we do it this way too, is if people miss their team photo, we can still do a makeup day or 2 in the next week, and they can still be put into the team picture as long as we're done by a certain time before we send it in to be done. Yeah. And we've had to do about 5 makeup days because of people not showing up or not making the time. Because the other thing was the scheduling. The league didn't get the time out to everybody until like the one Wednesday, and then the first photo shoots were on the Saturday. And people already have plans. They can't do 3 days notice. Say, oh, by the way, your team's picture's on this date on the weekend. So,
no doubt, talk about a shit show.
Yeah.
And next time, hopefully, you know better, they know better, and everything.
Well, I've got lots of notes that I'll be having an after year meeting with the president and vice president who I worked this out with because I know them personally, and I'll say, okay, here's the issues that we had. Here's how we have to fix it for next year.
Yeah.
Plus, they have me earlier.
Sounds good. Well, good luck with that, Johnny. I'm sure it'll work out.
We'll get it worked out.
All right. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
1 hour. I got to go give blood. They've been bugging me so much and calling me over the last 2 years, and I've been ignoring them. Finally,
I got to get ready for a headshot of a nice lady I've known for years. She's in her 60s, I guess, and she's writing another book, and she needs a book cover portrait. So she's coming over for a 2:30 shoot today.
Cool. Well, say hi to her for me.
I will do.
Tell her it's been a while. Tell her not to be a stranger.
Exactly. To give Rob a call.
Okay, so 2 weeks from now, we got Mark Laurie on, special guest from Calgary.
Yep.
And next week, we're busy, so we're going to just take it easy.
Sounds like a plan. And
Thanks,
I'll
John.
put some stuff together for the next time we don't have an actual visitor and it's just you and I. I'll put some stuff together for you.
Okay. Much appreciated, guys.
All
Take care.
right. We'll talk to everybody later.